Batman, on a level, you could be the greatest individual in football.
We are back with another video. I'm joined by Ty again. We are going to be doing our 5 left backs that we think Manchester United should sign, because obviously everyone probably hates Tellers in the fan base right now. Luke Shaw, injury prone, and he's been here 8 years. We need another fullback. But anyway, Ty, how you doing?
I'm good, man. It's good to be back. Obviously, I had a little break. Like I always say, people, make sure you support Statman's channel, the Twitch and the YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to Trafford Tunnel, where we're back underway. We've got Cass as well, new host who's going to be doing a show on Fridays. And obviously, we've got Marcel will be coming on with me. We've got United Analytics, obviously my regular show with Statman. Big year ahead, man. So yeah, I'm all good. I'm looking forward to the new season. The fact that, do you know what it is? I've realized people DMing like, when's your show back with Statman and blah, blah, blah. The fact that we've been able to keep a good vibe, good energy, and keep the shows like interesting while we've been shit last year, it only makes me excited for the new season, because we're actually going to be winning games and stuff, playing better football. So our content's going to be
you better not curse this, you know.
Nah. It's not getting.
You better not jinx this or anything.
It's not getting worse than last year. So we're actually going to be able to talk about good stuff. So yeah, man, let's get into it. It's sick. It's going to be a sick year.
Let's start with the left backs. The first name I got on my list is Borna Sosa from Stuttgart. He's played wing back mostly this season. His offensive numbers are very, very good, isn't it? Like even in terms of crossing, I think he has a cross completion rate of 31%, isn't it? Which anyone that knows anything about it,
he's in the top 2%, I think, in Europe.
Yeah,
or the world.
Like, he is very, very good. Like, I think Chelsea have been linked with him in the past as a wing back. Obviously, I'm not going to say he's a complete package, because I've seen Serge Gnabry destroy him with a fake shot. And if you're getting destroyed by a Serge Gnabry fake shot, that says a lot about you defensively, kind of thing, innit? Because anyone that knows Bayern Munich Serge Gnabry's fake shot should not be sending you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, going forward in my eyes, as I said, one of the best crosses probably in Europe. He's got 8 assists this year in the league, which is a respectable total. And I think it could be a very, very interesting, progressive, modern day fullback, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I hear it. Do you know what? Like, if we signed him, I wouldn't be disappointed. And if we didn't sign him, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, why didn't we sign him? It's a weird one, because what you said is like very interesting, because when you say wing back as well, you could just take Marcos Alonso as a perfect example. We all know when we watch Marcos Alonso 30 games a season, because we watch the Premier League week in, week out. I'm not saying that I watch the Bundesliga every week. I don't. But when you look at the wing back position, you know already that if Marcos Alonso is playing in a back four, but then he's playing as a left wing back, you know you're getting 2 different players. And I'm not saying that I feel like that's the same with Borna Sosa, because he is mobile and he has got the recovery pace and he is a bit quicker. However, I just feel like with him and Ten Hag coming in, he's more likely to be suited to a rival rather than us. Like, so say, for example, Spurs, how they've got Sergio Reguilon and they've got Ryan Sessegnon. They should be looking at someone like him, as well as they're looking at Filip Kostic. Yeah, like obviously they've got Perisic, but it should have been someone like him they're looking at. Chelsea, if Chelsea are getting rid of Alonso, he should be someone they're looking at with the back three. So it's not that I don't think he's good enough. I just feel like he should come to the Prem at 24 years of age to play in a system where I think he can excel at. I feel like if we get him and he plays in the back four, I just don't know if we're going to limit his game so we won't see the best of it. The best I've seen of Borna Sosa is him getting up and down the flank, whipping in crosses, being high up in the final third, not really in his own half. And I just don't know if under Ten Hag in the back four, we'll get the best out of him. So I think he's a good player and I like what he does on the ball. But in a back four, I don't think we're signing the Borna Sosa that we want to sign.
I think where it could be interesting is, like, we've seen it in terms of how teams use their fullbacks. Like, Arsenal use Tomiyasu as like a third centre back. So
yeah,
the other fullback can kind of get a bit higher sometimes. We've seen Bayern Munich do that at the start of the season. I think Pavard tucked in. Alphonso Davies then basically became like a left wing back, left mid kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we've seen with Ajax at times this year, Ten Hag has utilised that third centre back in build up kind of thing.
So yeah, because I know Daily Blind someone slotted in, and then like Mazzauri can go out a bit out wide.
That's
so okay. So if you think that happened, right? Do you think Dalot would be, so say if you had Borna Sosa, it'd probably be Dalot that you'd probably play as a right back, because he's got the ability to, like he did at Porto, just play at centre back. So then you could have Dalot, say Varane, and whoever the centre back is, and then you could then allow Borna Sosa to then go forward. Because I feel like in a back three, Dalot is confident enough, quick enough, good in the air to play as a sort of a third centre back if we had to have the ball. Do you know what I mean?
And I think, I'll be honest, it's also interesting to see what United do, because we've been linked with a lot of centre backs. haven't really been linked with a holding midfielder right now. So you never know. United could play a back three and just shock everyone. Because Ten Hag did say in his first press conference that he wants how he plays kind of to be suited to his players and stuff, innit? Which is obviously understandable.
Okay.
And I thought that was kind of interesting, especially with the targets who would be linked to Pau Torres, Timber, the Leipzig centre back now.
Do you think then, right now, if he come in his first game of the season, this is to you, not Ten Hag, do you think our team's more suited to playing a back three?
I think right now the answer is yes. Just because, listen, I just don't trust his midfield. We haven't got a holding midfielder at the club by the time we're recording this.
Yeah, it's true. Because Matic is gone. Yeah, you're right.
So I do think
I'll have to agree with you. And also the fact that Luke Shaw, yes, he's injury prone. England, he plays great as a left centre back as well. So, you could have him and then, Borna Sosa. So that could be a solid little left hand side. So I can hear what you're saying. Be interesting to see what he does now, especially in the transfer window. I didn't know that quote, by the way. I'll play a formation to suit the team.
I don't think it was formation in it, but I think it was like styles or something in it. He said something along those lines when I watched the press conference. The next player on my list is that you mentioned Renan Lodi from Atletico Madrid.
It's an interesting one. And do you know what? It's a bit like when we done the Serginho Dest video and we said like point to prove. I don't feel like Renan Lodi has like a point to prove. I just feel like his best interest is probably to leave Atletico Madrid. He plays in a back four, which he's done absolutely fine. He can play in a back five as well, which you've seen even against us in the Champions League.
Scored against us.
And I just feel... Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And I just feel like he could be a shrewd signing. He's got Brazilian experience playing for the international team. I think he's only 24 now, but he feels like he's probably 28 because he's been around a little while. But I just feel like it's a sort of signing where it could be a shrewd one because he is experienced. United needs some experienced players in there. And I don't feel like it'd be too much of a risk. I know you get players like Alex Telles, for example, that came and he's obviously a set piece specialist. People didn't really know what he was going to be like in terms of the whole overall game rather than seeing the numbers. But I feel like with Renan Lodi, he doesn't get huge numbers, but what he gives you is a consistent sort of 7 out of 10. You don't see him getting like ripped in games, and you don't see him being like, oh my God, he's Andy Robertson level, he's top 5 in the world. But I just feel like for Man United to make that next step, I think with him and Luke Shaw, for example, that's like a good competition barrier, and I'd be very comfortable with any of them starting. So with Newcastle, I think he's sniffing maybe 30 million or something like that for someone that's 24, a Brazilian international, played against us and done well in the Champions League. I don't think you can go fully wrong with that. And I think it's a name that I'm surprised that's not mentioned.
Because I think last year around this time, obviously the Copa America was happening, innit? And I had done a video of 5, I think it was under 23 players to watch out for in the Copa America that I think could surprise
one of them.
Yeah. Who else is one of them? Christian Romero, and obviously we've seen how good he's been for Tottenham.
Brilliant.
So I think Renan Lodi is someone that could be an interesting. And you said something about him in terms of that point to prove. And I don't, like you said it there, he don't probably have a point to prove. But one thing I would say about Ten Hag, he can kind of add something completely different to a player. Because when I spoke with Ajax fans, they said when Hakim Ziyech signed from FC20, he weren't really helping out defensively kind of thing, innit? As a winger. But then obviously Ten Hag added that to his game. And we've seen even people like Noah Lang. Noah Lang defensively wasn't really helping out. You saw how Ten Hag reacted to it. So you can add another element to a play that we haven't really seen kind of thing. With people have doubts of Renan Lodi.
Well, do you know what? Even throwing another name out there, I know he's always had the ability and technical ability, but look at Dusan Tadic for them in the last couple of years. You've just seen a little bit of something different in him that, Ten Hag has got out of him. I think he's even one of the captains here at the club now. So, yeah, man, I do feel like you're right. With Ten Hag, that you can get Renan Lodi the player, but then you might get something more out of him. So, yeah, I think that was one of the names. That's why I wanted to throw him in there, because I think it's an interesting one.
Especially for the price that you're probably costing it. The next name on my list is David Raum, I think from Hoffenheim. Because me and Ty were talking about this off here. I think this could be an interesting one in terms of his assist numbers are an absolute joke. This year for Hoffenheim, he got 3 goals, 11 assists. The year before that, he was in the Bundesliga 2. I think he got 13 assists, which is apparently the record in the Bundesliga 2 for a fullback.
Oh, wow.
Which I think is very, very interesting in terms of him going forward. And now he's slowly starting to break through into a Germany first team.
Yeah, the
men's
team
setup, yeah.
Do you know what it is with him? Alex Tellez, he reminds me of, man. I know that obviously his numbers are good. And do you know what? He has got the ability to tackle very well. Like, I'm not going to say I've watched loads of him, to be fair. I actually I more watch highlights of him, to be fair. But I feel like with my eye test, I can judge a player pretty quick. If I'm wrong, I'm completely wrong. But with him, I feel like, yes, he's pretty tall for a left back. Solid in a 1v1 tackle. He's got a good delivery on him. But I just feel like when you look at Man City, you look at, you know, Liverpool, and you look at the wing backs they've got and the modern fullbacks in the Premier League that really do well. I feel like they're quite explosive. They're quite tenacious. They can get up and down. And I just feel like with him and the centre backs we've kind of got already, I just don't know if he suits us. I do feel like he could be a solid addition for a team in the Premier League, but not a team that's competing for top 4. I feel like he's a player that could play for a top 10 Premier League team. So I don't know. For me, like, I'm not saying he is Alex Tellez, but, you know, we've seen players come in with good deliveries, good assists and stuff like that. And yes, he is playing for the German national team, so he must be doing well. But there was just something about him that I was like, nah, like straight away, like I couldn't gravitate towards him. But yeah, that's just my brief take on him, because I haven't seen loads.
Because you can see, even like from his underlying numbers, most of the things that he excels in is not in terms of like carrying the ball, which is very, very similar to Alex Tellez in that extent.
Yeah.
Alex Tellez, mobility wise, is poor, but going forward, like we've seen it with David Raum's numbers, which I'm going to put on the screen.
Yeah, probably good at progressive passes, stuff like that, and
crosses into the penalty area. Crosses, he averages 5.94 crosses per 90, which is in top 1% out in Europe. And this season, he created 19 big chances.
And when you look at, but when you look at Ten Hag's football, yes, I had Haller, who's obviously a target man as well, but I don't believe with the type of players we've got, we might be looking to cross the ball a lot. If we've got maybe Darwin Núñez as well, then he might be trying to use that aerial threat as well. So Ronaldo's a phenomenal player when it comes to heading the ball. But I don't know if we want someone who's going to be more up and down and, you know, energy. Like Ralph Ragnick said, yes, he's not here now, but he said a lot of the right things. Like, we miss a lot of that energy. Players that can run for 90 minutes. Like, we look drained. We look shattered after 60 minutes. And I just don't feel like he's going to be one of them ones that should be part of the revolution, should I call it.
Well, we'll see what happens with him, innit? Like, I'm pretty sure Chelsea will also link with him as well, innit? So I think the next couple, maybe even next season, if he doesn't get a move, could be very, very interesting. You never know. Could just end up at Bayern Munich because of Alphonso Davies.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, wouldn't surprise me. But the next name we got on our list is Marc Cucurella. I think this is probably everyone's favourite choice in that left-back area. This season for Brighton, I think he won the Player of the Year, man, or something.
Player of the Year.
Brighton fans love him. Defensively, he's shown he's capable. I think he averages 10.18. I think it is ball recoveries per 90, which is obviously very, very good. And he's come through the Barcelona Academy. He's come through La Masia. Technically very, very sound. He's Spanish as well. He's adapted to the Premier League. Good age, I think he's 23.
Yeah, man.
Like, this is probably the dream signing in my eyes in that left-back area.
100%. And you know what? It's so annoying because obviously you got Pep, he's Spanish anyway, and you got teams like Man City looking at him, and it's like Champions League football. You know you're going to a team that's going to play good football. Obviously, Ten Hag does play good football, but we can't say that right now at Man United because he hasn't even started the job. But we know it's going to be good. But for me, like, that's the dream. I'll be honest with you. I knew he was good because he was at Getafe, and I knew he was good. But I did expect him to sort of have such a good season in his first season in the Premier League. And I think there was one game that really showed to me that, you know, he's come on strides as well in terms of, you know, the Premier League season. I think they played at Anfield and they won against Liverpool. They come back from 2-0 down, I think it was. Or they drew 2-2 or something like that. They played Liverpool away this season. Liverpool were 2-0 up. And I thought, this game's done.
They drew that game, innit?
Yeah, and Brighton came back into it, but he's defending against Salah. And I'm not trying to say, oh my God, Salah's Neymar in terms of trickery or whatnot. But still, when Liverpool are 2-0 up, you got Salah chasing the golden boot, and you've got Liverpool attacking. You have to show resoluteness. Like, you have to be robust. You have to show that, you know, right, if Salah doesn't get past me, well, next time I'm going to make sure he doesn't get past me, because Liverpool are kind of that team that they'll keep coming. It's like Luis Diaz. Every time he gets the ball, yes, he might fail, but he's going to try and run at you again. And I just feel like with Cucurella, great at, you know, delivering the ball. You know, he's great at passing. He keeps possession well. He's calm. He's quick as well for a wing back. He's actually pretty quick as well, and he's very good at 1v1 defending. He's kind of like got the overall package that you want in a defender. Can play left back comfortably. I know people say Brighton play a back five. I've seen him plenty of times playing a back four, and he is very.
He's even played that left-sided centre back for as well.
Yeah. He's even played left-sided centre back, and I just feel like for me, for the price that Brighton are happy to sell out, 35 million or below, it's a steal for someone who's 23 and could be there for years. And I think when you look at Man City, right, and I'm just going to say my little two-piece on them. Obviously, you've got the Mendy situation. He's likely to obviously go and stuff like that. You've got Zinchenko, who probably could leave. Even if Zinchenko stays, you've got Cancelo, who then plays as the left back, but really, obviously, he's right-footed. I feel like with Man City get him, it is a monstrous signing. And the reason is that he hugs the touchline, which is what Mendy used to do, whipping in them low crosses. It then allows players like Grealish, Foden, De Bruyne, Bernardo to play inside them channels, come inside because they know they've got the width held. So, like, as much as we've bought players before that Man City have wanted to buy, like the Freds, like Maguire, like Sanchez, and some of them haven't worked out, this is the one I would be like, we can't let City get him, because I feel like for their system and what he could do for them, he transforms them in different ways. And yeah, Baines, I'm all over Cucurella, man. I really am impressed with him this year.
I think Chelsea have been linked with him like 10 to 15 as well, isn't it?
Chelsea.
It's going to be interesting. Like, if City are definitely in the race, City are going to get.
Do you think, right? My question to you then, right? Brighton player of the year. People are saying obviously Man City are very strongly like interested in him. Do you think there's a chance he stays for another season?
I don't.
So you think he just comes to Brighton for 1 year and he's gone?
Listen, of a player of his quality, you can't blame him. Like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be surprised if he stays, but at the same time, listen, if Pep comes calling, if Chelsea come calling, I'm leaving, kind of thing. Yeah. Like, he's not. I don't think he owes anything to Brighton, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's
he's only been here for a year. Like, he's given his services. He's shown he can do it in the Premier League. As a Brighton fan, I wouldn't be mad at him.
Year as well. World Cup year, go to a top club.
Let's be honest. If you're starting week in, week out left back for Man City, you're probably going to be starting, or you got a much better chance starting for Spain and stuff, innit?
Yeah.
So I think that should be interesting. The next name on my list, and the last name, the one that we've actually probably been most strongly linked with, is that Tyrell Malacia. Probably butchered that name from Feyenoord. Nicknamed the Pitbull because of how tenacious he is, and we saw that in the conference league final. And he was very, very good that day.
Yeah, what do you think look, with him, right? And I think I said it on the right back one when we talk about Tariq Lamptey. And I feel like if you were going to ask me for Malacia or Lamptey, I'd take Malacia just due to, I feel like, injury record to be better. And what I loved about him is, well, I'm not saying that Tariq Lamptey can't do, but I've never seen many left backs, right, hit so many low. I watched that Conference League final specifically for him. When he was at the byline, them low-driven crosses he was doing, they're not hitting hope, by the way. They were like low crosses that were finding their man. And I was
remember Venezia.
Say again.
Remember telling you Venezia? All right, back.
No.
Because you see him, he used to just fizz the ball, low crosses. He used to be so frustrated,
bro. But when you think of him, right, that was like just head down and lash it. I feel like with Malacia, he actually gets his head up and they're like driven low passes. And I just feel like as a left back in terms of Europe right now, when I'm thinking of left backs, I don't see many doing that. Obviously, Robertson's brilliant. Don't get me wrong. Theo Hernandez is brilliant. Don't get me wrong. But when I look at like a different, unique quality that he has at that age, that for me stood out massively in terms of the low driven crosses. That doesn't mean, oh my God, he's a great left back. But in terms of something that I saw that I was like, this guy's mature. Like, he's got something different in his game. I love that. And I just feel like he is the left back version of Lamptey. The way he runs, the tenacity, like you said, the bulldog approach. He likes the 1-2s. He likes trying to get forward. He also has recovery pace as well, which I do think's essential. And I think, like Ragnick says as well, when we talk about energy, in the side Baines, you just want to be like taking off your seat sometimes. You just want to have that bit of thrill. And I feel like with him coming up and down that flank, he gives you something. That he's always an outlet. That he wants to make stuff happen. He wants to be creative. And I just feel like for the price that he'll probably cost from Feyenoord in the 20 millions, like that's a no-brainer for me as well. I think Cucurella and him would probably be my top two. And I know that obviously at Feyenoord, and you know, it's his breakout kind of season in terms of like being out there known. We can't say we know much, and you could say Cucurella is not a risk, and Malacia is a bit of a risk. But the fact that, you know, Ten Hag would know him, I would trust that Ten Hag would get the best out of him. Yeah, that's a name.
It's part of the Dutch setup as well. Now I think he's in the squad.
Dutch setup with Van Gaal as well, which
Yeah.
I think he started over Daley Blind. I love Daley Blind, by the way. Never should have sold him, but as a left wing back, he should start playing him ready for the World Cup.
And I was looking at I think the defensive numbers. I think he averages 2.7 tackles per game, 1.1 interception, which is very, very good. Now we can straight away see he's like tenacious side kind of thing. Why he is nicknamed the Pitbull.
That's what it is. It's one of them things. It's a bit like Kyle Walker. Obviously, yeah, his position is not that great, Kyle Walker, but in terms of when he plays for Man City, he makes great interceptions. The ball goes over the top. He ushers it out, and you just need that speedy outlet. And I feel like, obviously, with Maguire, Lindelof, Varane, the centre backs we have at the moment, they need that, man. They need that security. So yeah, Malacia, I'm a fan of. I'm very intrigued to see, because I personally don't think he'll leave this season. Throwing it out there, someone asked me, I don't think he leaves, but
I think he does.
Will watch. Oh, do you? Okay.
I think he either obviously joins United or goes Leon, because Leon have been.
Oh, Leon quite interesting.
Well. Okay. Imagine if Leon get him, you got him on one side and
Gusto. Blimey, I'll take both of them probably 12 months later. Yeah.
I'll take both now.
Yeah, I take both now. So yeah, I personally think he could stay there for another year, and if he does, I'll be watching him closely. But yeah, I feel like when we look at the two videos we've done, and you look at left backs and right backs, I feel like there's more quality in the left back section than the right back, and it kind of makes me feel like what do you go with first? Do you get away with Luke Shaw and Telles for another year, or would you be like, do you know what? Even though the right back's quality isn't as good, would you find the right back first? Like, if you had a choice, what would you do?
You know what's weird here? We probably been linked with left backs, but the mad thing is that with the departure of Wan-Bissaka, we're going to need a right back. And that's why I think United, like obviously it's reporting and we don't know what they're actually doing, have been very, very weird. But I probably would say we need a right back more.
Yeah.
The reason I say that, I think Luke Shaw, Telles, like the mad thing is that we need everything. We need everything. But I can kind of deal with maybe Luke Shaw for another year kind of thing, innit? Dalot I can deal with for another year, but it's kind of like I can't then deal with Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah.
And Wan-Bissaka's leaving. On the other side, Telles, let me not talk about him.
Yeah. I think he'll get found out. I think he'll be gone in 12 months. Yeah. I think he'll be gone in 12 months. But yeah, it's interesting. So if you had to pick one left back and one right back here from the two videos we've done over the last week or so, what would you say?
That's tough.
Hard, isn't it? It's hard.
I think Cucurella is kind of the standout left back, isn't it?
Yeah.
The right back department, make sure you guys watch the video. I think he's a lot tougher to see.
Yeah.
But you know, I had an honourable shout out here. You know, honourable shout out to the Sassuolo left back. He's Greek, innit? Krekopoulos. I don't know, innit?
Okay.
He's 26, but when I seen obviously Sassuolo this season, because obviously they're striker and stuff, we haven't really been into him, but everyone hypes him, innit? He's actually stood out to me a couple of times, innit? Got 5 assists. Like his underlying numbers in terms of carrying the ball are very, very good. So I think that could be like obviously he's not on the list, but could be an interesting outside of the box shout.
Okay.
But is there anything else you want to say before we wrap things up?
Obviously, subscribe to the video. Make sure you subscribe to Trafford Tunnel as well. We're going to be back bigger and better this year on the way to 2K subs, but I want to take that clear. And also Never a Foul as well. That's where I'm going to be doing our generic football content. And with my boy Daps, obviously big up Soups and the rest of the team as well. So yeah, just make sure you like and subscribe into the video. Big up Statman every single time. And I'm excited for this. Is like it feels like the first video of kind of the new season. So yeah.
The exciting transfer time, innit? The new 10 era.
That's it, man. Also, you can follow me as well, Tyrone MC_ on Twitter. I'm sure Statman might have it in the description below or whatever. But yeah, Tyrone MC_ on Twitter. Big up everyone that's been following me as well. Obviously, I know transfer news people ask for and stuff, but I only tweet what's concrete. I don't just tweet for the sake of it. So yeah, man, if I get anything, I'll drop it. Yeah, big up down there.
Well, big up everyone for watching. We will be back